Right, it is the La Femme Film Festival 2021. We are so excited to have the filmmakers of this year's film festival with us. There is so much to watch. There is so many good documentaries, shorts, animated features. There's shorts of animated features. There's also things that need to get to the next level. We've had 5 minute shorts being submitted. We've had music videos being submitted. We've had scripts being submitted, and we have so much ahead on this particular broadcast that I guarantee you're going to find a film that you're going to say, you know what, I need to go check that out, or all of them. This year is the first year. It's a hybrid where we get to see you in person if you're in the Los Angeles area, and or you fly to the film festival, the La Femme Film Festival. You get to participate not only in the panels, not only in the meetups, not only on everything else with the Regal Cinema at LA Live near Staples Center, but you also get to participate in the award show this year, and in person or virtually. So the $49.99 is the way to go. I can tell you right now, get it. lafemme.org has all the tickets, all the information, but we're going to be right back with more filmmakers, including something that I can tell you right now is one that you're going to say, ooh la la, about next here on the 2021 broadcast of the La Femme Film Festival. That's right. I am so excited to introduce to you Esnedi Milan Herrera, and she has a feature right here that I can tell you right now has so much in it. You're going to walk away going, ooh la la. Esnedi, welcome to our 2021 broadcast. How are you?
Thank you. Gracias por estar aquí en Los Ángeles, desde Roma. Estoy muy, pero muy feliz que mi primera película como productora, My First Films, è già entrato a far parte di un festival così tan importante. Me gustaría hablar también italiano, pero bueno, no puedo. Estoy muy feliz, de verdad, que Leslie haya observado esta película, que es muy, no quiere hablar del feminismo, porque ese no es mi objetivo. El objetivo de la machetera de esta película es encontrar en un futuro el equilibrio entre el hombre y la mujer, que casi todas las películas, muchas veces lo que me preocupa en el futuro, siendo madre de un hijo varón, es que se piense que la machetera pueda ser solo para un desequilibrio entre el hombre y la mujer, y entonces no, es ambientada en el 1978 en Cuba, cuando Cuba estaba entrando en lo que era, digamos, en conexión con la Rusia, con la Unión Soviética, y todo el sueño cubano que cambiaba era diferente, y la mujer, que ya venía de ser una mujer, digamos, muy combatiente, que luchaba por derechos de la mujer, pudo tener esta ley gracias a un movimiento feminista que, digamos, el gobierno le dio la oportunidad de ser parte del Parlamento cubano. Y eso fue muy importante porque esta ley permitió a la mujer ser emancipada y tener más oportunidad y no ser solo la ama de casa con los niños y cuidar de niños. La cosa importante de esta película es ver cómo la machetera, que es una historia verdadera, ella hace todo con mucha valentía para ser aceptada del grupo de macheteros. Los macheteros, quiero explicar que son un grupo de hombres que cortan la caña que el trabajo de ellos es de cortar caña, son o campesinos, obreros, y ella escoge un trabajo que era simplemente masculino, no femenino. Entonces ella no viene aceptada, pero ella está respaldada de una ley que era de hacía poco tiempo, que la ley había pasado, que era en 1975, del derecho y la emancipación de la mujer. Y logra, todo esto en realidad es una metáfora, pero bueno, una metáfora que era verdad, porque las mujeres en aquella época pocas podían manejar, y entonces su sueño era manejar como un hombre, poder tener la oportunidad de tener un lada. La única forma para ganarse un lada era cortando caña, era más fácil para para una mujer campesina. En el caso de Marisol, no es una campesina, es una profesora de la universidad que ha tenido muchos problemas en la universidad, también muchos problemas de discusión con su esposo, que es más débil, es más dedicado a sí mismo y la descuida mucho. Y entonces esa es una parte que la lleva a ella también a ser un poco frustrada y no sentirse bien consigo misma, con su lado femenil. Pero no obstante esta, digamos, situación delicada en su vida personal, ella logra obtener su objetivo, que es ganarse este carro ruso, que en aquella época en Cuba entraban solo carros, coches y carros rusos, y dar el ejemplo a las demás mujeres que no la deseaban en el pueblo, a que pueden obtener lo que deseen. Y bueno, también esto ayuda a su mejor amiga a que ella le sirva como ejemplo para tomar sus decisiones de cambiar su vida. La película está dirigida por Janet Bernal, Janet Pavón Bernal, que es una joven estudiante de la Escuela Audiovisual Fanca de Holguín, en Oriente. La dirección de la fotografía es también un joven desconocido del cine, su primera película, que Giuliano Gastaldi. La producción es italiana, pero tuvimos una colaboración con Sanja Profit, que es una de las primeras producciones independientes que ya están surgiendo en Cuba, porque en Cuba ahora hay cambios de libertades en las producciones independientes. Ya desde 2010 el gobierno permite hacer producciones independientes, es una cosa muy importante para digamos, los artistas en Cuba. El hecho que ya puedan contar y exprimir sus ideas, una cosa que era casi un sueño. Por ejemplo, esta película fue apoyada por el Ministerio de Cultura. No tuve que hacerla escondida, como muchas veces pasaba, que muchos hacen historias escondidas. No, a mí me apoyó el gobierno, la cultura, y esto yo creo que es importante porque es un mundo nuevo que Cuba está dando la posibilidad a los artistas de contarse sin represión de ningún tipo. Y es muy importante sentirte libre y que no vengas observada como que llegas de cubana. Yo soy cubana italiana, pero bueno, que llegas de cubana a Cuba y que te digan no puedes rodar independientemente y entonces tengas que hacerlo escondido. Hablo de esto porque muchos piensan que en Cuba no se puede rodar libremente y eso no es verdad porque miren, yo lo hice y basta, como en todos los países, una revisión del guión, eso sí. Entonces, la postproducción, tuve una buena postproducción italiana, tuve un grande anciano, me gustó esta idea de poner los jóvenes y las personas más de una edad avanzada y que tenían una historia del cine. Por ejemplo, el editor tiene 76 años, que es Marcello Spolettini, que es conocido en Italia. El sound design, Giuliano, el sound design fue Andrea Gramiglia, que tiene una historia muy, digamos, su padre, Álvaro Gramiglia, que hacía películas hacía 300 películas para Hollywood, por ejemplo. Tuvo una buena postproducción, eso sí, muy italiana, casi toda, y un grande músico, que Marco Lo Russo, que es un músico que me hizo la consulencia musical. Una cosa de la música quiero decir que es importante. En esta película yo fui a buscar las raíces de la música cubana guajira, campesina.
Wow.
Músicas desaparecidas, músicas que ni siquiera en ninguna otra película nunca habían puesto estos géneros musical. Eh, y eso es muy bueno porque estos músicos son originales, la música es toda original, cubana, hecha en mi provincia Las Tunas, que es en el centro de la isla. Es una provincia casi, digamos, desconocida en el mundo y los músicos son desconocidos, no se conoce, pero cuando oí la música de ellos me he quedado encantada.
Yeah.
Porque son todos grandes, grandes compositores que componen con unas guitarras viejas, con instrumentos viejos, y eso le da una fuerza increíble y una poesía a la película maravillosa. Fui a buscar la música que se escuchaba en los campos en los años 70 y originales, que todavía hay músicos así en Cuba, en los campos, que todavía suenan esa música. Y eso me llenó de entusiasmo. La película no tuve budget, no tuve, digamos, fondos, dinero. Esta película fue una recogida de dinero entre artistas para poderla realizar. Fue el esfuerzo y el amor por el arte. Espero que guste mucho y poder venir a Los Ángeles, me encantaría. Y bueno, encantada de verdad que la Femme Film Festival me haya dado esta oportunidad humildemente a mí, a todos los artistas, sea italianos que cubanos, que esperan están muy orgullosos de verdad de mostrar este trabajo.
Well, I'm going to say right now, you know, the La Femme Film Festival is happy to have you with us. I will say it looks like an Oscar film, international film, which I'm glad the La Femme is able to feature your film on this. It looks beautiful. You did a great job at acting as well as of being featured and bringing this type of awareness to the world from Cuba. We love our Cuban friends as well, but there's stories that are meant to be told in an international world scene, and doing so here in LA is amazing. Around the world, La Femme, we're glad we could meet Latin America. Latin America can be brought to around the world, Europe, Norway, and New Zealand. We've got people watching from Wyoming. We ask that you get your tickets right away. It is, again, the name. La Machetera.
La machetera, yes,
Yeah.
la machetera, sí. La
Sí.
donna muy valiente que corta la caña con los hombres.
I'm working on my Spanish. Esnedi's gonna get me schooled up pretty soon.
Yes.
Thank you again. It's very simple. All you need to do is come get your tickets. You can see it. It's all subtitled for anyone.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and then some. So thank you for joining us. And we're going to take a quick little break. We got more. Esnedi, keep it coming, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Alan Femme Film Festival and the Iron.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
We're here with Heather, and Heather has a very amazing film. It is called Raven Winters and the Spirit Vortex. It's a script. It was a second rounder at the 2020, and I will say we got to get this made. Heather, what's it gonna take?
I mean, that's the plan. So, hoping this, production company studio get it all together and yeah, get it on the big screen.
One of the great things I like about the La Femme Film Festival is, of course, its entry of scripts, because sometimes it's like, okay, we got this script. This has potential. How do we get it to the next level? Raven Winters and the Spirit Vortex already sounds pretty amazing, but what is it about?
So I like to think of it as genre bending. It's an adventure horror film, and basically, after growing up with a ghost for a best friend, a compassionate paranormal investigator is hired to cleanse a very infamously haunted house. But when she gets there, a dark spirit appears, and she realizes this house is way more haunted than anybody thought, and she's going to uncover the house's deadly truth if she's going to save everyone, be they living or dead.
Well, I'm already looking forward to it. I say, sometimes vortexes, you got to be careful which ones you open, but sometimes there are kind of interesting things that come out of the other ones, right?
Yeah, kind of. And you never know what's going to come out. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a foe, maybe it's a friend then a foe, who knows? So,
Yeah, nobody
yeah,
ever considers those. That's true.
no.
Especially the friend going, help, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. I do have a character like that who goes from being a non believer to very quickly being a believer.
yeah, yeah. Well, we live in something that I say is kind of like necessary. It's called bring entertainment to the masses and do so in a way that makes sense. Obviously, this script, along with other ones that I'm sure you're working on, there's certain ones that you just kind of feel more connected with. Why this one in particular?
Well, it was twofold really. One was that I wanted to create a kind of Indiana Jones franchise with a woman at the forefront. So that was number one. But number two was more personal. I grew up not knowing my grandparents. They died before I was born, but my parents talked about them in such a way, my father's parents, that it was like they were in the house,
Mm,
their spirits were in the house. So I never grew up like with this like inherent fear of ghosts,
right.
because I'm like, well, they were human, they're still human, like I could talk to them, that would be kind of cool. So
Well, the question
that
I
was
think
then I
is
put
like
those
in the
together.
flip side, like, what if you were stuck like that, right? Like,
Right.
you're like, wait a minute, help.
I didn't intend for this. Yeah. So
Exactly.
you need help. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where that came from.
Okay, that makes sense. Heather, obviously, coming and joining the group of women. Obviously, this isn't your first year. I know last year was completely different because it's all virtual. Now having the LA experience, the LA live experience with the Regal Cinema as well, and being joined by so many people, either virtually and or in person. Why is that important, especially going with the years to come? Because I don't know if it's just me, but I'm seeing a lot of women creators tap into stuff that they've never tapped into before to get features made.
I mean, I think women have always been interested in all. I mean, I can't speak for every woman. I can speak for myself, but I know I've always been interested in like tons of genres and, particularly horror and action adventure. And I feel like, for me, I was like, I want my voice in the ring. I want a character that represents my voice. So that's where I think that's coming from. We want our voices to be heard, which is great. And it's because of festivals like this that we get the opportunity, which is so awesome.
Yeah, and I will say these are the type of things that when we say we're ready for it, we're ready for it, and I'm ready to see yours. It is a comedy, or is it kind of not comedy? Which
I mean, it's an
you got the
adventure
fun in
film
it?
for
Okay.
it's an adventure film for sure, but it's definitely got those comedic moments in the way that great franchises like, Indiana Jones and
Ooh.
Brendan Fraser's The Mummy have, where like, one minute you're scared and then you're laughing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Totally, totally. Well, Heather, I want to say this. If you could pick your first top three potential actors for this, who would you say we could make it right here and now with?
I Tessa Thompson for sure. I think
Okay.
she's amazing. Daisy Ridley would be another one.
Okay.
Um, and I think Alicia Vikander is just so interesting. And I think, all three of those women have shown their amazing range.
Okay. And you know what? I say yes, and yes. Let's put that out there. Let's get it done. But of course, we got to go through the rest of the week. Panels are amazing. You can all do it. It is at La Femme. If you want to see everything virtually and or just get tickets, just regular, you go to lafemme.eventive.org/welcome and you can get all the tickets and more. Thank you for bringing your script, though. And I'm looking forward maybe in the next coming year or two for it just being done.
I say let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, people. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Thank you.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really you don't have to sit behind those dollars and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. As for me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. That's the risk you take.
That's right. It is Rachel Rios with us. Rebecca is back, and that is the 2021 La Femme Film Festival Big Surgeons. We're getting already a lot of questions. Where can we find these things at? How can we get tickets? And I'm telling you, Rachel, obviously your half-hour comedy, I think, is going to really push a lot of people to get their tickets right now, because I see people already lining up. What's going on?
Thank you. I'm so excited to be included this year with my first pilot. Am I allowed to say the F word? Or should I
you know what? You can. I always say, I go bleep. I go F word. You know what I mean?
My pilot is called Parker and Olive and the Pressing Effing Issues.
There we go. Perfect.
Oh, if it's creatively,
There's an asterisk in it. So if you can feel the bleep in your bones. And I'm really excited to bring it to La Femme because it came from the desire to be seen as wholly women, which includes being unlikable and gross and messy. And I'm so excited to be with this company of creatives who believes in that full humanity, wants to see it. And I know that sounds really lofty. My pilots like fart jokes, so.
Well, I mean, I think everybody needs a little laughter. Rebecca, you were talking about that earlier, right?
You know, we're kind of like in this time where I don't know what happened with all the content online, but in networks, it just seems like everything's so heavy. And like, where's the comedy? We need to laugh right now. So yes, welcoming comedy. Love that you did this.
Yeah, and tell us about Parker and Olive in particular.
Well, for us, kind of what Rebecca was saying, this is based on a web series my friend and I started. She called me up and she said, I'm dying in quarantine. I am so depressed about everything that's happening. And we thought, well, perhaps I could take this and spin these depressing news stories into something fun. And so Parker and Olive was born, and they host a weekly salon where they discuss politics, art, and culture that they find important. And we try to put a comedic and clownish spin on sort of the end times that we're living through currently.
Okay, I like that already because we are living in the end times, I'm telling you, but I need more fun in the meantime, right? What happens after the end times?
Yeah, we'll laugh all the way through, all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for the UFOs to come out of everywhere, right? We got so many issues. And speaking of issues, how do you deal with the issues, of just of moving this forward and maybe is this a TV series you're thinking of? Is this is there a spinoff? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm hoping that manifesting, it will be a television series. Yes. And what started as just sort of a quarantine project between friends, Lennon Hobson and Curtis Waugh, we did an entire season last year in early quarantine and thought, these girls have legs. They're fun. And there's still awful things happening that we need to process with laughter. So our second season of the web show just premiered on Friday. And I'm looking at that as a proof of concept. With this pilot, regressing the girls to the origin of the salon, in which they were accused online of not being woke. And so in their attempt to prove their wokeness in true millennial fashion, they're going to gather all their friends and talk about important issues. But they get derailed from that task because fancy elites have charcuterie boards and they can't find the proper cheese.
I love this so much. It's like Gossip Girl meets pandemic, 2020 pandemic.
Yeah, we're saying pandemic Wayne's World if they were ladies.
Yeah.
Done. Bring in the rock, bring in the fun, and then go next level, right? So Rachel, look, congratulations on doing this. I know being featured among many really great filmmakers is always nice. Do you ever come from any one of these and you go, you know what, I've learned so much more? Because we got a lot of panels this year, plug for La Femme, which are going to be done in person and on virtual means. Are you spreading the word to all your friends? What are they saying?
Absolutely. And I'm a big nerd, and definitely online panels got me through early pandemic. I'm so excited to be there in the flesh this year. And I think what everyone's been saying is we're entering this new phase, like semi-post pandemic, where we're ready to get things moving. We're ready to learn new things and make new connections. So everyone I've talked to is really excited, and I can't wait to see what everyone else has brought to the table and get to just learn from their experience.
Well, you bring up a good thing about, and I remember talking to a business associate on this. He says, the best time to level up is during like a situation like with coronavirus, where people sometimes kind of level down. And what I mean by that is it's hard not to, right? But when you talk about like being able to tune in virtually and then be connected with people, so you're not so, disappointed, that now's the time, even if you're like in the middle of, and we all have to make money somehow, right? Sometimes people don't understand the filmmaking world. You have a regular job, you have the film world, and then you have something else just to support your love, your creative passion. And they don't understand sometimes the leveling up doesn't always require you being on, in a big like school environment, but even the ability to see the business of it. They don't even teach that sometimes in the school environment. They just teach you how to shoot, point, click, and then edit and do all the other stuff, but not the business of it. And Rachel, do you feel like you've gone already next level just by taking that time during coronavirus to take all of that information in and then move next level?
Definitely. I truly feel like all the creatives coming together in this time and sharing their talents and their skills has grown me so much as now I would say a filmmaker. My background's in theater. I have a master's in playwriting, and this is my first pilot. And I wouldn't have been able to get here without everyone taking the time to share their gifts and their on their seminars over the last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Rebecca. Rebecca's very seasoned when it comes to like, international credits and stuff. But Rebecca, can you give any advice to, filmmakers as well?
For right now?
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it is a lot of people want, have something to say, but don't know how to do the business side of it. And a lot of people know how to do the business side, but don't have anything great to say. I think they go hand in hand, and learning all aspects of film and the industry and the business and all different jobs in the business, I think is very important to at least have an understanding.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And Rachel, I think you have a really good understanding. You've already done the hardest part: point, click, edit, get the storyline done, make people laugh. Comedies are sometimes not the easiest one to, kind of master. So good job taking that on. What's next?
Well, I am working on another 2 pilots.
Okay.
Because after doing this one, I ended up loving the medium, and the beginnings of stories are so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on a few more pilots, one about the apocalypse, because obviously
bring it.
Cool.
We got to bring it. We got to know what to expect. Do we survive though? That's the question.
Well, we're trying. It's about a local musical theater troupe trying to survive the apocalypse with the help of their on-set handyman. So it's another rumination on how the arts are lovely and get us emotionally through what we're going through.
They're key. It's key.
Yeah. Get solar powered batteries. Okay. Like, they could just, they have them. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Learn ahead of time. But Rachel, thank you very much for joining us. It's all about La Femme this year, and it is going to be a great one. Thank you for being an addition to all the other filmmakers, and thanks for bringing your knowledge to us as well and inspiring young filmmakers, and even some we've interviewed some that are like in their elder years, and they've changed things, right? Rachel, Rebecca and I interviewed somebody that was working for 12 years, did it all herself. So never give up, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right, more after this. Okay, I'm excited about this next guest, a couple of guests, I should say. Open Field with Kathy Kuras and Sammy Grasave. Kathy, Sammy, first of all, there is one thing that I will say I'm not really good at. I love to watch it, but I actually broke my wrist in, I think, 4th grade. And unfortunately, I never took it up after that. I was kind of dumb about it. But some of the ladies have done pretty good for themselves, and they've done so well, and especially in yours, Open Field, the movie. I understand there are some women that can really take a punch and then deliver a punch with tackle football.
Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Yeah, Sammy here is the star of the film, the primary subject that we follow her story along with other women and trailblazers. But I think, yeah, you can take a hit, right? And
I've taken a few, yeah, couple here and there,
and given them,
and yeah, given a couple too. Only if they deserve it, you know.
I could tell. Okay, do you go in with the helmet into their stomach, or just do? I guess my question is this. Okay, I broke my wrist. What would I break if you tackled me head on?
It depends on how fragile you are, my love.
Shoot, I need to get my calcium intake up. All right, look, Kathy.
So tell us what does it look like? What can we see? Tell us about the film.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kathy Kurse. I'm the director and producer of it. And basically, our film is about women who play tackle football. There's like over 60 teams in the U.S. There's been 3 world championships where we've had a Team USA represent us, and very few people know about it. So our film, we're very excited to be part of the La Femme Film Festival. It's a documentary, so you get to meet a lot of these women tackle football players, but there's also a lot of hard-hitting game footage and everything else. So, yeah, so you can check it out at the festival coming up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer right now, and I'm seeing some pretty cool stuff. First of all, you know, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been pushing, and I evidently I'm not doing really well about it. But I want to kind of see a mixed version of it because I want to see the ladies tackle the guys too. But are we ready for that, Kathy?
Well, Sammy actually played.
Yeah, Aaron, let's stick you in there.
Guys.
I would roll with it. I think I would run from you though. I would be that guy.
We talked to a few of the guys I played high school ball with back in the day. So there is a little bit of that. But yeah, you'll have to watch and find out what that felt like, what it looked like.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my question of the day. Obviously, it needs to be told, and it needs to be done in a right way. And your type of football, because I've seen all kinds of football, especially with ladies, you guys do it more official than and I've seen. I don't know what your take is on this, Kathy, but you are so athletic that there are some that kind of take away from the athleticism. If you know what I mean, they kind of accentuate certain things, but they don't take the sport of it, like baseball. Like when you see baseball and women play baseball, oh my God, if they mix that up, I think we're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think Sammy can comment more on the actual play of the game, but I think if you think about, you know, when you played in high school and then with the women's leagues and the world championships.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a car accident's a car accident's a car accident, right? So you have two people coming full force at each other. It's the same kind of pain, and I've been hit by grown men, and I've been hit by grown women, and I will say that. The ice bath is just as essential each day. So, yeah, I mean, the game itself, I don't know if you'd call it more official. I will say what's interesting about women's tackle football is that a lot of the women didn't have the training that the men had at a young age. And they have really great learning and transferable skills from being basketball players and volleyball players, and figuring out how to adapt that to play football is really a wonderful thing to see.
It is. And, you know, when we were doing the film, one of the questions we keep asking was like, well, why are you playing football if, you know, hardly anyone knows about it? You're not getting paid to play. You have to sacrifice a lot to do it. And it all came down to the same thing, which is the love of the game. And there was really not a different answer, whether you're talking to a female player or the NFL players we talked to. You know, everyone from Franco Harris is in the film, a legend in football. We spent a couple of days with the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason that the NFL players play is no different than the women that are playing in the women's leagues. It's really the love of the game.
Well, I see the game face that you throw on, and I'm ready to see the tackle. I'm ready to see the favorite part. But I got to ask, you know, going back, Kathy, to the moments where you were in love with football, at what point were you so in love with it? And then to be able to kind of bring this, like with Sammy, I can guarantee you right now, you're going to open a lot of eyes towards tackle football.
Well, when I was younger, I wanted to actually play football. I remember the little leagues. I grew up in Dallas in an area called Oak Cliff, where football is like pretty much king in that area. And I really wanted to play. I used to play with the boys. But then when it came to actually the little leagues, I had to be a cheerleader. I wasn't allowed to play. So when I met later in life in Chicago and found out since then Now there's all these like women's teams, and being able to see what she's been able to do, both as, you know, when she was in high school and then later in life through the women's leagues. It was wonderful to be able to see something that was denied before actually be a reality that young girls and women can play in today.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, you know, Sammy, look, you're doing some interesting things. Obviously, your career has taken off. What is it that maybe others can kind of start tuning into to get this to, you know, NFL standards? And is an NFL kind of in a way kind of slow at the rate that they should be?
With getting involved with women's football?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some really great things that have happened recently with women's flag football and them, you know, helping to partner to get flag football involved in the high schools around the nation. And I think that that's a big step to get people's brains acclimating to recognizing women playing the sport, even if it is not full tackle. So I think it's a slow and steady race, but we're starting to see those strides. And it's also great to have so many, you know, there's a women careers forum that was started by Sam Rappaport. And we're seeing, you know, lots of 89, I think, is the number of women who have gotten jobs through that career forum, women with NFL jobs. Katie Sowers, who's in the film as well, she was a teammate of mine on the 2013 Team USA and was the first female coach in a Super Bowl for the NFL for the 49ers. Last year, the female coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the first female coach to win a Super Bowl. So we're starting to see these strides, and the more that you see, then, you know, obviously if you see it, you can believe it, and more people will pursue that, more young women. So it's that, I do think it's exciting, and it's on its way.
Well, and Sammy, I gotta say, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, it seems like women are definitely having a moment in the spotlight in sports right now with the women's soccer team and, you know, the basketball team fighting back as well. So I think could not be a better time for you guys to have released this and be a part of the La Femme Film Festival.
Yeah, I think you're so right about the timing. And a lot of people talk about women playing football as like the last frontier for women, because we have seen strides in soccer and basketball. And yes, there's still equity issues and things that need to get worked out. So football is in line and at a place where those sports were for women, you know, 20, maybe 30 years ago. So I'm hoping it can be accelerated because of all the equity that are beginning to happen. But the timing is great.
Yes, definitely. I hope so as well, that, you know, everyone can do their passion, what they want to do.
Well, and I looked, Sammy, a little bit at your bio, and I apologize. I messed up your last name. It's can you say it for me? Grisafi?
Grisafi rhymes with coffee.
Grisafi.
There you go.
Look for Sammy's name very soon, because I'm telling you right now. What position do you play?
Quarterback. I did. I'm retired now.
Well, but I think you need to reinvigorate it a little, because I mean, I know you have a music background as well, and you've done some really cool. But can we do a collaboration with some of the new kids for today, and then kind of, you know, bring this like full circle? Because I understand international, you know, again going against Mexico. What was like your favorite moment that will be that highlight that you'll be like when you're 98 and you're teaching your great grandkids like, oh man, I remember that moment when.
You know, I think one of my favorite moments was the part that I didn't really enjoy at the time, which was, you know, losing 2 national championships before winning 1. And that taught me a lot that I've used in all of the pursuits in my life. When you think that there's just your back's against the wall and there's nowhere you can go and you feel like giving up, and realizing, you know, and this film touches on 2 of those moments in my life, but losing twice and then finding the grit in yourself to get through and to succeed and eventually doing that, but not feeling sorry for yourself and just finding strength within yourself and having the help of a team and teammates to lift you up is really it's important, and a story that I think I would tell to my great grandkids so that they could learn that lesson earlier than I did.
That's sweet.
I'm glad you two met. I'm glad this is here. It's one of the films I'm actually looking forward to because I'm not going to lie. I have not seen women football. Like I said, there's other types of football where they kind of dress and I go, you're going to get hurt. Like, when you hit the, you know what I mean? You know which ones I'm talking about. I'm not, calling out. I'm sure I don't want to call anybody wrong out that, but I'm like, the way you're dressed, and maybe Rebecca, you don't know what I'm talking about, but like, the tight, you know what I mean? You guys do it right.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those.
This isn't that.
This is not that. No,
this is real. That's like a man. Like, let's look at but this is called like, let's take the athlete of it and then make it and go next level. And thank you, both of you, for kind of bringing this to the fore and saying, look, guys, don't take a hit by Sammy ever.
Awesome. We look forward to y'all in LA in a couple of weeks.
We're really looking forward to it. Thanks to La Femme for LA Film Fest for having us. We're excited.
We'll see you at the parties, okay? Because there's a few.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Drinks are on me. Orange juice.
I'm gonna come find you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Orange juice. Okay. Orange juice. I got a little budget. We'll be back with more right here. It's La Femme. It's all here 2021. We're super excited. Again, it's a hybrid. You can join us at the Regal Cinema at LA Live, right next to the Staples Center, and or online from anywhere around the world, maybe even outer space if you have a Wi-Fi connection. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're here with Katha Gentis. I'm sorry, is it Katha or
Katha?
Katha? Katha. I apologize.
Katha. Yes.
Rebecca said it was Katha, and I said, I don't know.
It's okay. Then you remember me.
Yeah, I got
it's very unique. It's a very beautiful name.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's a whole 10, 15 minutes.
That's right.
But I have to say, I had fantasies in 5th grade of playing football, so it was really nice to come in on the tail of that. I was that little squirt that I was like, I want to be a quarterback someday, and they're like, yeah, right. So,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we did at some point.
Yeah, and I played. I'm an athlete, so I played a college sport, but I did always I wanted to tackle the boys.
Who doesn't, right? The guys want to get tackled sometimes.
Anyway,
but Katha, no,
that's
seriously.
a whole other story.
Exactly.
It is. I know. But okay. I don't want to get in trouble.
Mine is pivoting into something totally different anyway.
I know. No, trust me, I would break something. April Showers, though, is your short film, and of course, you're the writer-director of this. April Showers. Because we're past that, but I have a feeling it means more than just the showers of it all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just sort of a poetic title into the time. I mean, honestly, there's me full screen. I usually do feature films, and I had another one released to do comedic stuff. And, it's a pandemic story, and I'm in New York, and that first quarter of the pandemic, when we were the epicenter, was such a seasonally bleak time, as well as bleak on other levels. And I just remember that during that spring, it just felt relentlessly cold and damp. And so that's just kind of where the story takes place in April of 2020 on a park bench in Central Park. And weirdly, I can't talk too much about the story because it's sort of a story that unfolds but just about how relationships throughout the pandemic were impacted. And I was just, as I was sort of I used art in many different ways to get through the pandemic because I found it was a wonderful way to connect with people. And so I just kind of had this story. A friend of mine was doing these park bench plays, and that made me think about a story And I was like, oh, and again, without revealing too much of what the plot is, about a relationship that was impacted by the pandemic unexpectedly, and, just one that was kind of an untold story.
Well, I think that makes sense, Keith. And I, know that you're on the East Coast, just like anything, you're going to be probably, are you flying in for this?
Oh, yeah. No, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm a huge supporter, and I've had other projects screen at La Femme. So I love being part of the festival. And I was so glad that, my short, this is actually going to be the world premiere. We have a couple of other fall festivals, but this will be the first live screening.
Oh, good.
And I'm really excited to kind of have it in front of an audience on the big screen at this festival. Because, again, I love what they're about. I love the, Leslie and Deb, and it's, so it's really nice to come back.
Yeah. Well, I know this is Rebecca's first year with us. I don't think it'll be her last. If you could tell anybody, because being, that person that kind of, and we've had a few that go, no, this is not my second year. This is my third year or my fourth year or my fifth year. Or sometimes they learn things and then they go, you know what? I'm going to go for my next feature. So are you going to go for your next feature, or what's the advice?
Wait, what?
See, everyone does that.
Is that a question?
Yeah. Oh, wait. So what's happening?
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
Your feature. When are we going to see it next?
Oh, well, no. I have a feature film that was just released called Pooling to Paradise. And that is, which was supposed to, we weren't quite ready last year with the festival. And, and it was a really strange year. And I shot that before the pandemic, and that's called Pooling to Paradise, which is kind of a coming of age. It's like sort of Breakfast Club in a car. Okay. So that was this kind of, and features, as you know, are these huge undertakings.
Yeah.
And it was really nice because, again, I was writing for the short, which, is a very different kind of story, because most of my things, they're all based on life. Like everybody goes, where do your stories come from? And mine do come from real, the world that we live in and people and human behavior. And a lot of times they're metaphors for things that are going on. So it's an extension of me. And I felt that I was like, again, I saw very important relationships in my life negatively impacted by the pandemic. Others thrive. And so I wanted to document that moment in time and really go back there. And the people who I've shared it with privately have all been like, wow, this is going to sort of a really nice way to document. And again, as a New Yorker, having a major milestone in the 9/11 space, we've had these times that really our city was really turned upside down by something, a disaster. And so that's why I kind of felt like I wanted to shoot this. I worked with actors I've worked with before, Bill Sage and Lorraine Ferris, who are incredibly talented, and they're married. And so it is about a relationship story. And I thought, especially from a safety point of view, it's really nice to work with, be able to shoot a short during the pandemic with a husband and wife, because, they were living together, and then we rehearsed via Zoom. And
Smart.
Just give them an opportunity to act together and have this sort of built-in chemistry between them. So it was really a wonderful experience. And, they just connected with the story and the writing, and, it feels like a play, but, again, we shot it in Central Park, and it was, just kind of a beautiful little story.
Well, I say keep doing it that way. You're inventive, and you go next level by being inventive and adopting everything that is new. Keitha, thank you very much for spending time with us. It is the 2021 La Femme Film Festival. We've learned a lot over the last couple of decades. Let's keep applying it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. More when we get back. We are here with Carly Sullivan. Carly, I understand you are doing some pretty good stuff with this award-winning short film, Becoming. Obviously, becoming sometimes can be a little difficult, but becoming in your world is not that difficult, right?
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Yes, I'm Carly. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had some really, really great times with our short film Becoming, which is essentially about a family dealing with grief. And the idea is that instead of grief tearing them apart, it's helping them, acting almost like a mechanism to become who they really are. So I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but it's a fun, quirky fantasy journey. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of the festival.
Well, so are we. I know, I'm trying to get Rebecca to come back every single year, but
you're doing a good job, Aaron.
I know. I feel like she's our regular listener or viewer that, just kind of they discover and then they go, wait, why should I stay not just this year, but the whole each and every day? Carly, can you recommend why?
Can I recommend why Rebecca should stay?
Yeah.
Is this your first time at La Femme?
This is my first time. This is my first time. This will actually be as well the first time the film has been shown live. So this is so exciting for our entire team. So I don't know what to expect, but I feel like this festival has amazing energy, amazing female creators.
It does.
It's inclusive, it's collective, and I don't know Rebecca at all, but I feel like she's probably down with all those things.
I am down with all the.
Yeah, she is. Well, she's from Canada
right now.
Yeah, and she's freezing up.
She's frozen.
Yeah, it's okay. That's how these things roll. But back to technology, being able to bring us all together, I say is a good thing. Doing a short, sometimes people don't understand that shorts are so intensive. How long did this take from the beginning of writing this or the idea of it to the moment you said, okay, I'm done? Because some things I've been noticing are shot like in 2 to 3 months now.
Wow. Yeah, Aaron, that's such a good question because my experience was not 2 to 3 months. With the pandemic, I will say the film had to stop production and start production, stop production and start. And it was a 3-day shoot, but all of the prep and pre-production plus editing and post was in total 1.5 years for us.
Wow.
Our team is phenomenal and we really wanted to make this a comprehensive story with high production value that someone can watch and go, oh my God, I want to see this as a feature. We really took the time to be mindful and make sure we did everything right. So yeah, it was a process, but it is amazing when filmmakers can get something done in a month or 2 months. I'm always in awe of them. I've yet to do that, Aaron, but maybe someday.
Well, let me ask you something, Carly. Obviously, if all of a sudden a financier kind of came and gave you like, I don't know, 1.3 million, what would be your next step?
My next step would, and you know what, I'm manifesting that right now.
I could tell you're pulling that
into my orbit. My next step would be like, okay, I'm going to make a low budget feature. And that is my next sort of leveling up. But I also would say maybe that's enough money then to think about having a short series. I mean, a 1.3 million budget for a short film would be insane. You could do a lot. But yeah, I would want to do a feature. I have a couple ideas and a couple features I'm going to put out into the world in 2022, hopefully in 2023.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Rebecca, any last questions?
I'm scared of going again.
Oh yeah, your connection is a little funky, but it's okay. It's okay. I feel the love.
I think what she wants to ask is, as a short. Oh, go ahead. I think she's got it. Go for it.
No, I just wanted to. This is your first short, and you've never done a feature. So,
I've never done a feature. Yep.
Do you feel now like you're ready for the feature? Because we were talking to somebody else about how women need to, not all women, I shouldn't say that, but it's easier for us to start small and build as opposed to just jumping right in. It's not so scary.
Absolutely. I think because I have had about a decade of experience in front of and behind the camera, and I have done like micro indie shorts leading up to this, I feel like I could now take the jump because I could take everything I learned from this short, and especially doing it in the pandemic, it was such a good obstacle course, if you will, that I do feel ready. But I will say that I agree, as other female content creators might say, that those steps are so needed. It's like running a marathon. You have to train for the marathon. You're not just going to run that race and hope to cross the finish line. So I do feel I'm ready. And I would highly recommend that everyone continue to kind of take those steps. And then when they feel ready, then they can make that jump.
Yeah, love that. I think that's great advice for anyone.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for joining us, Carly.
Thank you, guys. It was so nice to meet you. Can't wait to see you at the film festival.
Looking forward. We'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye.
Stay tuned.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Because what you're seeing on television right now is history in terms of where decisions are being made today.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
What are recommendations for packaging?
Getting to the right person at the right time, and you have the right piece of the package that they want to see.
And be able to adjust, because the plan will never execute exactly as you plan it.
If you set aside money for social media, for a publicist, for marketing, things like that, and really, you don't have to sit behind those dollars, and you can have more control of your own release.
You can't go wrong. For me, I knew that my episode was either going to be awesome or fine. That's the risk you take.
We're here with Sharon Wang. I am so excited for you, Sharon. Welcome to the La Femme Film Festival 2021, the reunion. Whose reunion is it?
So it's I think it's like a unusual homecoming kind of journey. which is this film about. So it's a reunion of a mother and daughter, and also like old friends. So it's like different female characters, and also the reason I shot this film is like I have been away from home for a long time and always moving around different places, and then and also I have like a very weird relationship with my mom. So this film is also like a reunion of me and my mom, and also to my hometown and trying to reconnect with it. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
It's smart. I will say again, you know, you're bringing this as a short film, award winning already. That's always nice when we get award winning ones that, you know, already have a kind of a fanfare. Obviously, when people see it, what was the first thing? I mean, because anytime you bring something out, you mean for people to see it, but then you kind of get like, God, I hope people like it as much as I like it, and then to get award winning, that's kind of important, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really hard to pour out like a very personal story to the audience because, like you said, I always like worried if people are gonna be interested, even though it's like very personal to me. So should I sit on it or whatever? Yeah, but the reason I shot it is because I'm heading towards like graduation by the time I shot this film, and I was lucky. I shot it like right before the pandemic in China. So yeah.
And it was through your program at school.
Yes. It was school of visual arts. Yeah.
Well,
that's incredible. I think.
Go ahead.
I think it's you know, with us all living so internationally now, and you know, we leave our hometowns and then come back. It's a very commonality theme for everyone. So, what do you hope, you know, is the message that gets across?
Yes, that's part of the message, and also it's also a story about mother and daughter. So I'm trying to explore like, so the reason why I believe that it can connect like audience like globally, it's because it's about like mother and daughter and females struggle. So it's about like one single mother who's trying to, you know, becoming a good mother, and another mother who's another like a single lady who is trying to, you know, like who is trying to have a baby because she has like infertility kind of struggle. So those two females, they kind of encounters each other when their single like the protagonist went back to her hometown. So she met the mother and daughter duo, and that's how they connect with each other. So
yeah, it's very beautifully shot, and what such a great story as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to show this film to, you know, like a bigger audience.
I think Aaron's trying to say something, but we can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm having issues with technology here, but it does look beautiful. I will say, doing this type of film, Sharon, you know, and I love your Instagram. I think it says the very simple thing, which if you're not following her, it's at Sharon_Zaidan. It says filmmaker until I find a real job. You kind of highlight the struggles of all of us, right? That, you know, love this, but it looks so amazing. It needs to be that big and more. So having said that, I see that it's, again, a short. I see why it's an award-winning one, but what's next?
I think I always want to keep doing film, even though I still want a real job. But yeah, but
really?
Hopefully I can make, you know, like filmmaking and directing to like my real job. So I think next step always like all the filmmakers is to, you know, shot a feature and then, you know, expand your ideas, your voice into, you know, a longer piece. Because while I'm shooting this film, I think there's so much depth of emotion there. And then there needs a lot of pacing to like connect with your audience and then give them space to digest. So so I always want to, you know, expand this kind of voices like to a bigger audience and a longer, you know, piece.
I mean, I think it's pretty incredible to be able to fit so much into a very short film anyways. So, I mean, congratulations on your first and for winning so many awards. That's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can get tickets right now. You just type in lafemme. Oh, there it is. Hold on. lafemme.eventive.org/welcome. You'll get all the information there. Sharon, I want to say thank you for joining the what I call the family of La Femme. And before we let you go, you have so much support from people that actually see your stuff. They love it. I mean, I see like a feature film very quick in your future because the cinematographer that you hired too. Can you talk on that?
Yeah, of course. So, so this is my first time trying like co-DP because I can't decide which one to choose. So both of them were like my longtime collaborator. And then one of them, he is based in Shanghai. So he is from Shanghai. So originally I want to choose him because I think obviously he will know more about the city and then, you know, the chemistry there. And then another DP who is based in New York, which is also like my long-term collaborator. And then he said he want to, you know, compete for this job. And I said, maybe he will bring out a different perspective of this film. So, so I just have them collab, and then one of them focusing on Jiaqing, the one who is coming back home. So who is, you know, an outsider of Shanghai, and then another one focusing more on, you know, developing the character who is, you know, based in Shanghai, native to Shanghai. So I think it kind of works.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I really can't. There's something about the visual storytelling that when every little frame makes you go like, ooh, like it's almost got that anime look, like it's in the subtleties of it, and then the crispness of it, and then the posts that you guys, it's all very carefully crafted. And this is like what cinema is meant to be. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you guys for appreciating it.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
we
Sharon.
got more right after this. Stay tuned. We're here with Andrea Lawson. Andrea, you got a interesting 1-hour pilot script about a hotshot. What kind of hotshot are you talking about?
She's a venture capitalist who tries to stop a high-stakes con at her company, but she gets dragged into it instead when she discovers that the con team's hacker is a member of her very own estranged family of grifters. It's sort of Billions meets Sneaky Pete.
Love both of those.
Thank you. Me too.
And with a woman.
Yeah, we never really see venture capitalist, high finance, or the con game from a woman's perspective.
Absolutely.
And you know, it was really a fun story. You know, venture capitalists, corporations, investors. When I was doing the research for this, I discovered that they have as many what we would call, if the cons were doing it, cons, grifts, scams, as the criminals. You know, the cons here are not the biggest crooks in the room. And what does Trisha do when she realizes she's on the wrong side?
Ooh, wow. I'm already seeing a feature being made right now, Andrea. Question, though, pros and cons, obviously the name of this script. If you could get like your featured, sometimes you write these things with like a person in mind, or you just write it, you did the research, like the layout, because I know a lot of people take a script and then make it into something, but some want to do a script. Like I got 3 scripts ready to go in my head. I needed to put pen to paper. So I'm kind of like wanting to pick your brain right now, Andrea.
Yeah, sometimes what's really great to do when you're coming up with a script and you want the voices to be distinct is sort of do dream casting in your head and picture your favorite actor for the role doing the part. I pictured Kristen Ritter from Jessica Jones as Trisha in this, because she's really got the the vulnerability and the strength that you would need in this character to see both sides, the hard-hitting venture capitalist and, you know, the woman who's a target of way too many people.
Got it.
What is the main difference
by the
between?
way, oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, by the way, it's a pilot script, a 1-hour pilot, not a feature.
Yes. And what is the main difference between having a female in this role as opposed to the, you know, the male that we see all the time?
Well, you know, females in big business, in high finance, generally, female-led companies don't get the funding that male-led companies do. Females don't get the promotions that many times male colleagues do. In this particular pilot, Trisha gets a promotion, but part of it is because her dad, her adopted father, is he prosecutes criminal businessmen, and her boss thinks that if he gets in trouble for some of his shady dealings, he'll just throw her under the bus. Of course, she doesn't know this, but you know, everybody's playing everybody in this, and nobody's on the side you think they're on, which makes it a lot of fun.
Yes, you're on your toes, on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Well, and Andrea, you know, look, so what do we need to do to make this a full movie?
We want to watch it.
Well, you know, if you call your friends up at the studio and let them know they should ask for the script.
I got a few actually. I'm kind of thinking about it.
It's been doing really well. It got selected for a table read with professional actors in June, and I'm going to a writers fest, and of course it's been selected for this, which is fabulous. I can't wait to. It's my hometown, LA. I was born here, so can't wait to go to a film fest here in town.
Well, we're glad.
Born and bred. Is this your first one?
This is my first film fest here in town. I've attended a couple others, not with this script, with actually a different script of mine. But this script's doing really well this year in several places, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're excited for you to make it so that we can watch it.
Thank you.
I'm ready, Andrea. I know you can advise some others as well. And you know, sometimes people don't understand. Scripts are ready to go, and there's good content. You just got to pair with the right production, right?
Yeah, you got to get in front of somebody who loves it as much as you do, and they're out there. But you know, their time is taken up with so many projects. It's just getting eyes on the page.
Well, I can already tell you right now, I want to see who's the pro, who's the con, and then some, and then who becomes the pro out of the con, or I don't know how that goes.
You've got the whole, no, that's exactly what's going on. It's that much fun.
Okay, all right, and then you got to write number 2 to get ready for that one. Okay, thank you so very much, Andrea, for spending time with us here, and we cannot wait to find more info, and I can't wait to meet you in person because I got questions about who's the protagonist.
Fabulous. I've got answers. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it,
Andrea.
Bye.
Hello.
We are here with Catherine. Hello. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we are glad to have you. Borealis? Thank you.
Did I get it? It's a tongue twister.
It's very fun to say.
Lyme disease. Yes.
Yes.
It's a play on words, but that's the main bacteria of Lyme disease.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about Borrelia. It's a way too pretty of a word to be for Lyme disease, but
isn't it? That's what I thought, actually. I remember sitting down with my doctor in January of 2020 after just 25 years of being sick and not knowing why. And my digestive system had pretty much shut down. I was looking at a lot of really serious health problems. And they said, you have this disease, this Lyme disease, which the root word is Borrelia. And I thought, that is such a beautiful word for such a horrible thing. Right?
Yeah.
And so, and then the world shut down just a few months later after that, you know, with COVID.
Right.
And I was just beginning my treatment and going like, what is the meaning of life? I've been sick for this long. And sort of the fog, I think, was lifting as I started the treatment. And I was like, I'm making a movie out of this. We have to document this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything on Lyme disease or many autoimmune, kind of diseases in a film.
Yeah. And I was so new to this. Like, I didn't identify as a sick person, I suppose, because when they tell you have this, if they don't catch it in the first 6 weeks, you become someone who has chronic Lyme disease, or eventually what I got, which is late stage Lyme disease, which sounds really scary, which it's not the same thing as like, late stage cancer or anything like that. It just means that this is something that you have in your body, and you're going to have to find a way to live with it, to treat it sort of constantly throughout your life. And I thought, well, and then again, the world sort of shuts down and you're like, ugh.
Now what?
What's happening? So there's a lot of really overwhelming feelings. And I wanted to sort of document that experience of this girl that is trying to handle taking hold of her wellness for the first time and taking all of these sort of scary supplements. But really what it gets down to with Lyme is, we talk about self-care a lot. And you think like bubble baths and, I'll have some chocolate and watch a rom-com. And it's so much more than that. And myself having to force myself to learn what self-care actually really is, which is eating very well, taking care of yourself, sleep. Sleep is so huge. But then having to confront all of that stuff, not being able to leave your house.
Definitely.
in this early stage of the pandemic. So I thought this was an interesting backdrop for a film.
Yeah, and it's tough saying self-care when you have an autoimmune disease, and stress is a big factor of that. And you're
As
like,
the global pandemic rages on,
not
deaths in the United States have reached an all-time.
Well, well, I'm sorry. I want to bring up the trailer because it looks so amazing, and to be able to do something so quick and so fast like you have done, it's pretty amazing just for you to just go ahead and do that. And then add to it, like the fact, because people don't know the Lyme, they hear Lyme disease, but they don't know Borrelia borealis and why it is so impactful to talk about. Can you share that?
Yeah. I mean, they estimate, the U.S. estimates that about a third of Americans actually have Lyme disease, and most of them don't know that they have it. So we have all these other diseases like dementia or MS or Parkinson's that in many ways they stem from this original bacteria that often goes unchecked because in the American medical system, we don't really test for Lyme disease. It's not something that's common to check for. And so like for me, for 25 years, I got bit by a tick when I was age 10. I made this movie when I was 35. That's when I also got diagnosed. I had been diagnosed with everything under the sun. You have anxiety, you have depression, you have endometriosis, you have PCOS, you have a hormone disorder, you have a thyroid disorder, but it all stemmed from this original bacteria that once I started treating that, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm alive. Like I haven't seen straight for 25 years. And so once I started treating that, I just couldn't believe the world that sort of opened up to me and how well I felt. And once I knew how to treat it, because
yeah.
America,
and how did they diagnose that if you were diagnosed with all these other things prior?
I actually, unfortunately, I had actually gone through several traumas of my father had passed away from esophageal cancer a few years before. And then my mom got diagnosed with dementia, which both of them, I feel like we lost way too young. And I was like, I'm going to see an integrative doctor, which you have to pay for. You don't really, it's not generally covered, the tests that they do on normal insurance. And so I started paying $100 a month to go to something called Parsley Health. And it was very scary. And they do advanced testing. And it was through that testing that they were like, yeah, you have Lyme disease. You don't have all this other stuff. And also you're not crazy. And that was the first time I was like, oh, this makes sense now. Literally my whole life makes sense now.
Yeah.
So I encourage you, anybody and everybody, to be able to go to a doctor like that, where they do more advanced testing, which unfortunately you do need to have a little extra money for. But I mean, I feel like every doctor should be testing for this if a third of Americans have Lyme disease and have these mysterious symptoms and don't know why.
Yeah. Well, you did it really well. It looks beautiful, by the way. Great job on that. I think it's might be nominated for an award. I don't have the skinny. I don't have the hookup with Leslie and all that. I'm just looking at it. It's among one of my favorites I want to check out. And for those that do want to check it out, make sure to do so. Come to lafemme.org. It's on your website. It's just type it in. Say which one you want, and or get an all-access pass for anything and everything, including the awards. Who knows? Maybe we might have already interviewed a few of the winners, and including one that we're talking to, right?
That would be amazing. Absolute honor. Thank you so much.
Keep it up.
Thanks,
all right.
Catherine.
We got more
Thank
after
you,
this.
friends. Appreciate it.
It's that time for the last book, hopefully the last book before another book. But I will say, Tara, you and Beverly got a chance to do this. It looks pretty cool. It's a feature female-led dystopian script. I can tell you right now, dystopian is all the rage. At the rate that we're going, is there any hope for us at all? Or
I mean, I would like to hope that there's hope for us. I think that's probably one of the reasons that there's 4 of us that work together to sort of create and spearhead this project, and it stemmed from sort of us questioning the world that we're living in right now. And we actually had written this before like pandemic and everything sort of happened in that sort of dystopian sense of the reality. But it's all about how leaning into fantasy allows us to question our current reality and what's going on. And so this story is about a world where books are outlawed, they're banned, there are no books. It's all about tech, and it's all about being accepted and posting and being involved in that kind of technology as a society to keep people in the society that they're in. And this sort of quality of Fahrenheit 451 with this idea of fantasy behind it in a never-ending story sort of idea. It's all about a girl discovering a book and seeing what worlds she can find because of books and how important books are. And it was fun for us as 4 women to get together and feed off of each other and what we love about creative storytelling and being women together and having a script that we need right now.
Agreed.
Beverly, I see you echoing her thoughts.
I am 100%. I mean, we've been, we're all 4 of us are moms and creators, and, so we're always finding and stealing time away to create together, which has been an amazing adventure. And to be able to hold this space of connecting these 2 what seem like vastly different genres together, it really fueled all of us in a really amazing way to create this beautiful script and story that we can't wait to share with everybody.
Okay, now I know the both of you come from the world of voiceovers, right? And I have to throw this out there because you mentioned the last book, Tara, and you, for those that don't know, are featured in pretty cool stuff when it comes to books, and especially when it comes to young ones, right? So did one kind of fuel the other of what you do?
I mean, I think this particular project, the seed came out of, I had read an article about these traveling Kentucky horseback librarians. And this is actually a true story. This is in our history in America. There used to be these librarians. They would travel via horseback and go from sort of this little colony to a little colony, sharing books and teaching people how to read and communicating and just sort of linking all of old America together. And I found that and I was like, this is so cool. I feel like this is what's missing in the world that we're living in right now. I feel like people are disconnected and we aren't sharing ideas in that way. And so I came to the group and I was like, America, Paula, Beverly, do you guys like this idea? And then it was just like, it was like fire. Like it all just started to kind of roll into a ball. And I think it was less about a project that I had worked on influencing it and much more us as creators individually getting this idea and the seed of the idea, the kernel of how cool it is that you could have a librarian traveling with stories rather than being able just to walk into your library on the corner. And the fact that we need people to connect and that we need society to be connected. And that's, I think, where the story came from. Bev, do you feel that that sort of is kind of how it
Yeah, absolutely. And then, we all kind of went, well, what are the things that we get excited about? What are the stories that we're drawn to that we really, that light us up? And so we took all of those pieces and mixed them with this idea of traveling librarians, and our script was born. And I think the other thing that's really important about this librarian idea is that sometimes these books would fall apart. Sometimes the stories would start to get lost, and the librarians would try desperately to put them back together in the best way that they knew how, which sometimes meant that they had to start filling in the story with what they remembered. And so that aspect is also really prevalent in our script as well.
Well, I want to say, I can't let you go, Tara, before I ask this for some of the kids that I know love Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, Tekken, Marvel versus Capcom 3, and some other really cool stuff like Naruto, and all the projects that you've been able to do. It's coming right now. I'm going to ask you, favorite character to voice ever, and could you make an inclusion with the last book, maybe? Go talk to their IP. I don't know. Part 2.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's so hard to pick a single character because I think much like in storytelling, you love what you're currently working on because that's what's fueling you right then. So it's hard to look through a body of work or a career and sort of pick one piece out and say that's the best one. But I would like to believe that all the characters that I've had a chance to portray influence the decisions that I make as a creator now. And so characters in our story, the last book, are evolved to where they are because of the work that I've done before this. And I think that that's also true for things that Beverly has brought to the project, or that Paula has brought to the project, or that America has brought to the project. It helps create more than just a script. It creates an entire world, and it creates the possibility for transmedia or comics or other books that then come out of the idea or the seed that we have created with the script. So I don't know, people want to hear me say Tamari's my favorite character, or Wonder Woman was my favorite character, or right now I'm playing, this particular video game or that game that I'm in, but I don't know how to pick. It's just really hard.
I just want to know if you have dreams of any of these characters, and then you're like, all right, I want to. No, doesn't happen.
Expand on that story.
No, I mean, I dream in stories, so I have dreams of stories, but it's always new characters doing new things, I think.
Well, I love your background. You got some pretty cool photos right there. So I'm checking out your line art right there on your right shoulder.
Totally. Yeah.
Beverly.
Yeah, I am in the production studio right now.
I could tell. Tara, Beverly, thank you for doing what you're doing. Thanks for bringing it to La Femme, upping the ante always, and congratulations on everything moving forward.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for having us.
All right. Take care. Bye.
More after this. We have here Kimberly Resch, and Kimberly, you yourself have a fantastic thing that I think people need to talk about. Tethered, Are We the Experiment? Talk to me about your production company, consciouscontent.org.
Yeah, actually, we have for the last 4 years have been quietly making films that are geared toward humanitarian efforts. So whether it's clean water, clean soil, mental health has been a really huge. Is that on my side?
I was wondering. No, that's on my side. I don't know what's going on. My mic is completely. That's what I was like.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, but it's really quiet.
I'm back. I'm having issues here. Hold on.
Fine.
Let's do this really quick. I'll be right back because I need to get this interview right. But I'm having huge issues with my audio here, so I'm double checking on that.
Take your time.
Let's take a quick little break here and let me reset something, okay, Adam? Because I want to get camera. Too.
There's still a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, I hear that too. Do you hear that, Adam? Subtle. let's try that. You hear anything? Okay, let's try it out. Looks like it blew a fuse. We have with us Kimberly Resch. Kimberly, you have a fantastic film. It is Tethered, Are We the Experiment? This is one of those like thinking ones. Are we the experiment?
Yes. In short, the answer is yes. Yes, we are definitely the experiment, and science is proving that we are the experiment.
Now, for those that don't know, though, what is the situation that we find ourselves in as of currently?
Well, regarding our film, because we have many films, but regarding Tethered, the film was about social responsibility and being responsible using technology. And in general, we're finding that because there's 6 billion people on phones at any given time, that when you spend a great deal of time on social media or using your phone, there are long-term effects to that. And for young children, especially before the age of 6 years old, there's some serious issues that are happening with their development of the prefrontal cortex. And learning disabilities are happening. It's actually basically what happens is if somebody's on drugs and they get clean, what happens is they develop later when they're clean. That's the same thing that's happening when young children have a phone, is they're not developing all of their executive function that they need. And when they stop using it, if they ever stop using it, then their brain will continue on functioning as normal. So we're just seeing a lot of things that are happening as an end result, if you will, from the last maybe 15 years, 20 years of people using phones. And the ages of children or people using phones are younger and younger and older. So 6 billion people out of 7.8 billion people actually have some kind of device that they're tethered to. That's extraordinary. And that's never happened in history. Just like now we have unprecedented events happening constantly in the world. And we're like, there's no manual for anything we're going through right now. It's the same thing with this. And are we the experiment? My son said that. That was his voice that said that. That's how the film actually started. We had a conversation. I had a son. They're all 6 years apart. So from the ages of 15 to 30. And each of them communicate differently with each other. The way that whether they use Snapchat or Instagram, or they use Gmail versus texting, and the language they were using, the codes that they were using. Right. You can't say okay on Instagram as a response. I didn't know that wasn't okay. Like that was like, oh my God, she's so mad. Like I didn't know. So as we were talking to the kids, we're like, I want to learn how to communicate better. And after having taught emotional intelligence for 20 years, I thought, if I can't figure it out, who's going to figure it out? Right. I'm their mom. Like I should at least know some of the right questions to ask. And it ended up turning into a film. And we feel really, really blessed because a lot of the people that we had, like Dr. Christakis from Children's Seattle Children's Research Center, and Live More, Screen Less, they were invited as well. I'm trying to think of everyone that's in there. We had international students. We had footage from Tokyo in there. Sweden, the United States, Canada, it was pretty much everywhere. We were just trying to figure out what is it that makes us so similar or similarly disconnected. And we find, so it's quite interesting, but there's hope. So we tried to not make the film preachy. We wanted to empower you to decide if it was a good idea, if you were being responsible with your technology.
Well, and I think it's important to be responsible and more or less understand what it's doing to our children and finding that balance, especially because sometimes there's such an imbalance. I've seen youth have problems because of being too tethered, to certain devices and not finding that balance. And some parents just don't pay attention enough. They just kind of go, here you go, now you're good. And they walk away thinking everything's going to be fine. But sometimes even educational problems can end up abounding, right?
Yes. Well, what happened was KK and Marie Hampton and KK Myers were from Live More, Screen Less. And they actually just got $1 million grant through the school district system. They're in Minneapolis, or the Minneapolis area. And they had been working on this grant for 3 or 4 years. And they were their program was going away if they didn't find a way to fund it. And because of everything that happened during the beginning of the pandemic, everyone's narrative changed. It said technology is so bad for you. And now you're like, oh my gosh, we have to homeschool our kids.
Yeah.
So now we have to figure out a balance as parents and teachers. Teachers had to have the biggest learning curve, and
Right.
students will kind of do what you tell them to do if you tell them to do it.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's just kind of what happens. And we're seeing that in schools now as they're evolving through the whole, you know, this whole 18-month thing. But teachers, they really had to evolve and learn how to use the technology more in an emergency basis, which now I think is turned into something maybe good. But, you know, out of a lot of pain can come some really, we call it post-traumatic growth. We always educate. We do a lot of mental health films, and our films are about post-traumatic growth. Like, how can you grow through something that could be traumatic or something that is maybe not so positive, and how can you evolve beyond it so that way you can do the best that you can and try not to be the experiment. But the truth is, and Dr. Christakis said the same thing. He's like, it'll take me 5 years to get grants, and by that time, I'm going to do your film because your film will be able to get out information faster than my research will. But this is what we're seeing now. And so that's how we got such a brainchild. You know, he's such a brainy person and so amazing. And 30 years of all of this research to get him was amazing. And we felt he's super credible, and we felt really blessed that he was open to it. But he was open to it because the system is old. And I saw a comment that was just on here that said the research can't catch up. And that's totally true. So I think that's the beautiful part. That is the beautiful part of films, being a voice, is that if you can somehow get the film completed and you have a good message, people can receive it, and they can receive it a lot faster than research papers.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I say congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing over there, bringing the content to the consciousness of certain people that honestly sometimes forget, and they don't realize, you know, what can happen next. And I think you're asking those questions, what is happening, and then what can happen next. And those questions, if they're asked ahead of time, then you know how to head them off. And it's important to get that information out. Kimberly?
Yeah, it is. Well, conscious content is all about being an asset and a framework for critical thinking. And that's the point. Yeah. And our films are smart, but they're not, and they're educational, but they're not teachy. They're not preachy. The idea is for it to cinematically come to at a way where you as a free thinking person can decide, is this something that I need to change? Am I okay with it? Or am I, what do I need to change something in my life? And
yeah,
we don't judge.
Keep doing it. Do it well. I know people can take and get their tickets right now. It's lafemme.eventive.org/welcome, either virtual and or in person, which I'm looking forward to hearing more of this discussion from you.
Thank you.
All right. More when we get back right after this. We're here with Ishq Pradhan, and I'm sorry if I got it incorrectly, but you have a fantastic project right now that is actually a script. Shigmo, what's this about?
Yes, so Shigmo is actually about a gay 25-year-old in Goa, India, that's grappling with a toxic relationship, a father in denial about his sexuality, and dealing with the trauma of being sexually abused by his uncle as a child. And it's all within the framework of Shigmo, which is actually a festival of colors in India. It celebrates the festival of Holi, which is known as the Festival of Colors, all within the framework of India. And this is a story that I really wanted to tell because I feel that the LGBTQ community is really underrepresented in India. And through writing this script and hopefully one day making this feature film, I hope to kind of bring the LGBTQ community to light and really portray the struggle from a very real perspective.
Well, I know each and every script that gets submitted gets really a good look over, and it's not like just like, okay, let's just add any single one right away. But I will say, getting this to the next stage, where are you at with that?
So, quite honestly, I am currently in NYU Film School. I am an independent filmmaker based in the city, but I'm currently getting my bachelor's at NYU Tisch School of the Arts.
Okay.
And I hope to make Shigmo my first feature film when I graduate from college. In terms of why I hope to make Shigmo very, very soon, the film is set in 2018, which is actually when Section 377, the law that criminalized homosexuality in India for many, many years, was finally disbanded in 2018. And the film takes place in 2018, right after that event has taken place, after Section 377 has been disbanded. And I hope to kind of show that transition period of, people adjusting to the new law, but of course still having those same attitudes, and how, you can't just expect people to transition and adopt a new approach immediately, and how it really affected the community in terms of, in one sense, having this freedom to love openly, but in the other, still fearing for their social image, for their lives in some cases, and still fearing that persecution.
Well, you know what? I say congratulations on doing what you're doing. You're getting information out there. For those that are wanting to kind of participate and get that to the next level, what is it you are looking for next? Is it the funding? Is it the shooting? Are you looking for the team? Or
Yeah,
what will get
quite
this off?
honestly,
Yeah.
I am looking for the funding and the team.
Mhm.
At the moment, I am trying to think about organizations and companies that would be interested in funding a project like this, given its sensitive subject matter.
Right.
Because this is a film, I really want to reach a wide audience given the subject matter. In terms of commercially, I really hope it does reach a commercial audience, and that's why I want to make it in a way that will obviously, appeal to, the independent film circle, but also appeal to just the common public that might not know as much about films. And this is something that they can still appreciate, just given the subject matter being so relevant. I hope to make this film in the Hindi language eventually, but keeping that in mind, I do want it to appeal to a Western audience as well.
Well,
So,
I think,
yeah, as of now, it's just looking for the funding and, of course, the right team.
well, and look, I understand, especially in the world that we live in with Afghanistan and other types of things, which are more against women and more against certain, how do I say it? So extreme in views. It's kind of like, are we not already past that? And what more do we need to get to that next level? And I think you're kind of on the cusp of that, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, as a filmmaker, I'm very passionate about exploring sensitive, socially relevant topics.
Yeah.
And my take on it is that, yes, I do want to present the reality the way it is, but I hope to always infuse my films with a sense of optimism. Optimism in the sense that, yes, there is hope in solving this, and I hope to kind of inspire those efforts in whatever way possible. I've always believed, off late recently, as I've been thinking about my role as an artist and a filmmaker, especially during the pandemic, I've realized that art can be a form of protest, and that art really does have the potential, if not to create social change, definitely to initiate it. And I hope that through making this film, as well as some of my other works, to do that. And it's interesting that you mentioned Afghanistan, because I'm currently working on developing a TV pilot, actually, about two sisters that are forced to flee Afghanistan due to their family's secret all-girls school being attacked, and they're forced to come to New York, and eventually they're trapped in a prostitution ring. And it's stories like that again, I really want to tell, because I think we really have to do a better job of representing the underrepresented in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And as a filmmaker, that is really one of my missions as well, to tell stories about underrepresented communities and bring to light some of these social issues.
Well, then do it well and keep it going. Thank you so very much for taking time with us. I congratulate your efforts to push forward information that says, hey, people, we're all on the same planet, for crying out loud. Let's get along.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back with more right after this. We're here with Riley, and Riley is doing a fantastic job over there. Black Metal. It's her first time working in animation. She's got a USC film, and I gotta say, I hope, Riley, this is not your last. I can only imagine we're pushing you forward, and we're gonna see some pretty cool stuff, but this is pretty cool. Talk about it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this was my first time working in animation, and it was made through USC. I'm a student there right now, and usually I have a lot of experience in production and live action, but because of the pandemic, we had to switch our ways and adapt this film into an animated film.
Okay.
And I learned so much doing it. I really love animation now. The film is about this young girl who loves black metal music, but her parents are extremely Christian. So she escapes and goes to a metal concert, and her parents follow her there. And at the end, they reconcile their differences and become a stronger family from it.
Well, it already looks pretty cool. I love the style that you did in it as well. How long did this take, and how long is it?
It's only about 5 minutes, and it took a semester at school, so about 3.5 months.
Okay, all right. And you know what? Look, Riley, there are some people that don't really take to animation because honestly, it is a lot of work. And the way you did it, though, I would say it's like you got your own style going. So at the end of the day, can we make this young lady? What's her name?
Oh, in the film?
Yeah,
Rebecca.
Rebecca. Okay, can we make the Rebecca? I can almost tell you right now, the Rebecca that was co-hosting with me would totally understand this because she probably likes heavy metal and rock. But can she get sisters that would help her out?
Oh yeah, there is definitely. She has a older role model who's the lead singer in the band
Okay.
she goes to see, and so there's also a storyline of them bonding on stage and Rebecca screaming into the microphone in front of the crowd and being taught like how to scream for black metal music.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I got into black metal music with a friend, and I was like, you know what? It is something that I'm okay actually, hearing because there's some pretty cool tunes. But I love this whole thing that we're showing there. What's the story behind this? Because I think it's hilarious. Like she's like they're at church obviously, and you can see her like, why are you listening with your headphones? And she catches her. I'm telling you, that's hilarious.
Yeah, thanks. This is a frame from the film, and that's exactly what's happening. Everyone in church is singing along to the hymn, and she's listening to metal music, and her mom rips out her headphones.
It's like I need. Well, there's some faith-based metal music too. There's some good music, faith-based metal music. You just gotta have her like find the halfway point. I think. I don't know. Is there a halfway point?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this film might be the halfway point. We really found when making this that there are so many similarities, weirdly, with black metal music and Christianity,
Yeah.
even though they directly oppose each other. It's all just about finding your found family, but still being loyal to your given family,
Right.
as well. So yeah.
Well, look, Riley. I first of all, I think great job on this. It looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it. If the funding were done, would you possibly get this into a regular series? Because I can see Cartoon Network picking this up.
Yeah, I definitely would love that. I know the writer who he kind of based this off of his life is really interested in making it into something more. Whatever that is.
Well, I think bringing it to La Femme gives us a good perspective of all different types of film. Black metal, again, first time working in animation. I say congratulations. You're doing it really good. And whatever you bring next, I hope at least you'll bring it to La Femme and we get to all watch it and experience the magic of 2D infotainment.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Riley. Okay, we'll be back with more right after this. We're here with Lydia Peterson. And Lydia, you got a film here, which I understand is your first feature film, Walking On, which is interesting because I'm going to be following you for sure on your Instagram, Walking On Official. What is it that people could start looking for from this particular Instagram?
So this Instagram is really just following the film that was a passion project. We put it together. Like you mentioned, our first feature film about a young girl who wanted to try out for a Division I basketball team. Is the process of walking on. She finds herself caught up in like two different worlds, but that's kind of the background.
Well, I'm glad you're doing this, number one, because we've been talking to athletes as of late, and athletes really do not only encourage and motivate, but boy, do they make things happen. And in doing this, obviously, you have probably found the type of people that really motivate you to go next level. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, so the athletic world is about being driven and motivated and kind of working through your own things. And in doing this film, I found a lot of people who are just like that. You know, our lead, many of the actors are just like that. And so it was a pleasure to kind of create this movie for athletes, and for Black athletes, for female athletes specifically. They have, they don't always get the love that they deserve. So this film was kind of a love letter to them. So I really am glad I was able to get it out there and get it done.
Well, it again looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it. And you did a lot of production on this. What was, sometimes people don't understand, to get these type of things made, the whole lead up, the post, and getting it right, the re-edits. How long did that all take? And what was probably the most strenuous part? Because anytime anybody does a first one, there's always things to be learned.
Yeah. We, aside from just the regular pre-production, production, post-production, we had a pandemic in between, when we started and when we finished. A lot of our post work was done within it, like during the pandemic. And so, just the things that you would normally be able to rely on, like running dailies with your post house or whatever, those things we didn't get a chance to do in person. So this film is kind of a testament to just being able to, really fight for something that you really want to see finished and completed. Right. As far as the production goes and the work that goes into that, I did it with my friends. And so that always makes it better. Friends that I thought had skills that would, lend to this sort of project. So I did it with my friends, and we were able to make something that we're really, really proud of, for sure.
Well, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it. You're doing some great stuff over there. I know sometimes when you're surrounded by other people that do, it's kind of contagious to, and it's almost needed in a time when people say, do not. Either by action and or lack of support. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I imagine it's what you do too,
Oh, trust me. You have no idea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're fighting the fight all by yourself, but I could tell you put a good team together on this.
Absolutely. It was a joy to work with them. It was a joy to recruit them. It was a joy to maybe exploit some skills that they didn't know they had. So it was cool being able to work closely with colleagues and friends to be able to get this film done. And like I said, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
Our first feature.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the process, and I hope that everyone else does once they finally get a chance to see it.
Well, I know I'm going to see it, and I know there's the international community that's going to see it, and then there's the word of mouth. So we got to preempt that. We got to get that out there, and we got to push it forward, right? You can get your tickets right now at the La Femme Film Festival, lafemme.event. There's a couple of ways to say it, eventive.org. Yeah, it's like you got to point down. You got,
right. Oh, is it down or is it
yeah,
left?
it's like
here?
Yeah, there you go. Right there. Yeah. Hey, keep going, keep doing. Lydia, congratulations on your stuff. Keep it moving, and we'll see you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a contender on an award. I don't know.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
I know we need a People's Choice Award. I'm just saying. All right, Lydia.
All right.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you again, everybody. We'll have more right after this. Stay tuned. That's right. We are here. It is the Femme Film Festival 2021. And I can tell you right now, you need to go get your tickets. I'm going to show you really quick how to do so. It is so easy. Okay. I'm going to show you what you need to do, because sometimes people think, wait, this is difficult. I can't make it to the LA Live in time. I'm not going to be able to get there. And I say, you know what? Who cares? Just get the all in all, and you get everything. It's simple. Here it is. Here's how you do it, actually. lafemme.org. That's what you type in. It's supporting women and diversity for 17 years. That's how long Leslie Lepage and the entire people that actually put this thing together have done so. The seminars are amazing. You can get studio projects, the here and now in projects venue. That's online and or in person. Then there's the what does distribution look like for the indie filmmaker getting your film sold? Who is buying? That's kind of an important question. Look at this one. Pitching, the do's and the don'ts. I'm going to tell you right now, that is one not to be missed. That's always fun to watch, and that's going to be held quite soon. So look, all of these are available online now. So however you're tuning in, this is the moment to just go ahead and sign up. Here's the tickets, okay? This is a no-brainer. I can tell you right now. Each individual film is anywhere from $5 to $8. Now, this is the first time it's been as low as that, because, of course, we want to help spur the filmmakers to do what they need to do, which is create more content. So the individual tickets are available to screen one film at a time, your choice, either in person or, as they say, on the ground at the Regal Cinema 14 live at the LA Live area near Staples Center. And you can check it out right here in California or online. So you could join the online audience. You can join those that are doing it right there, right then. It's including web series, commercials, music videos, shorts, documentaries, the short animations of some of the filmmakers we talked to. Or you can get just the $49.99. That includes everything. And you got the all films virtually. You get to be there in person. You get the expert panels, all 6 of them, access, special screens, and the awards screening party, including the awards event. All of that is worth it. I could tell you right now, I just attended an event where I had to pay like $50 just to go. So I'm telling you right now, this is a great deal. Anywhere from $5 to $49.99 and in between. Okay. If you just want a virtual film pack, because technically you can't come in person, $20 for everything all week long and then some. So that's the way to go about it. I recommend it. You do it. You do it right. Go to lafemme.org. You'll get your tickets there. If you want to get your tickets on any of the information that you've seen, just go to lafemmeeventive.org/welcome. That's where you'll find it at. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll find more right after this.